The legendary Red Auerbach won a record 9 NBA championships in the 50s and 60s, so it's only fitting that the trophy bearing his name and his iconic image on the bench with a game plan in one hand and victory cigar in the other be awarded to the NBA Coach of the Year. The finalists in 2023 include a first-year head coach, another in just his third season, and another who could become the 11th to win the award more than once. Here are the finalists for Coach of the Year. Mike Brown of Sacramento, who won the award with Cleveland 14 years ago. Third-year Oklahoma City head coach Mark Daigneault, and first-year Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla. Here is the envelope, and here's the man who is going to announce.
Do you mean the guy who hates coaches?
The winner.
I didn't need coaches.
Of the NBA
They just told me to go to work.
Of the year.
And of course I delivered. And the Coach of the Year for 2023 goes to Mike Brown of the Sacramento Kings.
Congratulations to Mike Brown, obviously taking the Sacramento Kings to the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. They have a 2-0 lead over the Golden State Warriors as we speak on an off day. And Mike Brown joins us right now, the newly minted Coach of the Year in the NBA. And Mike, I'm just opening up the second envelope, which gives us the voting details. 100 voters, 100 first place votes. First time ever.
Wow.
A unanimous decision for Coach of the Year
Well deserved.
in the NBA.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them. But I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic. I appreciate the opportunity that Vivek has given me. Monty and Wes putting the team together. And I've said this before, you don't have an opportunity to win games, especially during the regular season, if your guys aren't healthy. And our medical performance staff, they get a lot of credit. They kept our guys on the floor. And then our coaching staff, it's been a fantastic coaching staff. They kept me focused and locked in. So I'm thankful for a lot of people, but more importantly, thankful for another opportunity to be in this seat.
Mike, when you take over a team that went 30-52 the previous season, what's job one?
And Shaq knows this because he played for me for a year back in the day. Job one back in the day would have been, let's get to work. Let's work. But job one, day one for this job, this time around for me was making sure that I can find a way to connect everybody, not just our players, but our front office, our ticket sales, our community relations, our medical performance team, our coaching staff, our players. And I wanted to try to do that in a way that they've never experienced before, because that connectivity can help take a group to insurmountable heights. And I truly felt that from day one. And so that was my focus. My focus was, how can we get this culture right?
Coach, obviously the game is different from when Chuck, and Kenny played. So as a coach, do you adapt to the new era of guys, or do you make them adapt to you?
No, so you adapt to them. This is a players' league. Guys like myself, fortunate, blessed, lucky, however you guys want to call it, to be a part of it. And players drive this thing. And if you can't figure that out, you won't last long in this business. And so you have to adapt whatever you're trying to do, offensively, defensively, even culturally. I remember back at, obviously I've had a lot of great mentors. And when I was with the San Antonio Spurs, the New York Knicks, they always had the dress code where you got to wear the tie and the suit and all that stuff when you flew. And, I was a guy that liked to dress nice. When I got to San Antonio, I asked Pop, I said, why do you allow everybody to wear anything they want to wear? He says, because Tim Duncan likes to wear his button-down shirt with his white beat underneath of his jeans. So we're going to do what he wants to do. Right. So you adapt to who your players are.
Coach, number one, congratulations. You've had success. You've gotten fired a couple times. When you got this job in Sacramento, what's the one thing you say, I'm not going to make that mistake again?
The biggest thing I felt is I cannot make any decision based on whether or not I felt it was right for me. And everybody kind of goes through that in life. And they make decisions or make plans thinking, okay, man, if I was in that seat, that's what I would want. No, 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 no. You got to feel your players, you got to feel your GM, you got to feel your owner, and you got to take all that into consideration about what decisions you're going to make on a daily basis. And you got to be able to message that decision correctly based on the mood and all that other stuff that's going on. So I felt that everything that I was going to do going forward was for the best or the betterment of the group and not what I believe was right or wrong.
Coach, congratulations, firstly. Secondly, you talked about connectivity in the culture from first floor to third floor, second floor, all of the floors that are an element of a franchise. But on the basketball court, what was the first thing that you noticed that you had to really address with this team?
Well, I had to make sure that I understood what their strengths were, and I had to accept being able to play to their strengths. At the end of the day, I always felt I had a really good feel on how to come up with defensive schemes against anybody at any time. And, at first, when I looked at this team, I said, we might be able to score a lot. We might be able to play fast all the time. And those, at the end of the day, might be our strengths. And so I really struggled, especially early on, conceding to the fact that I'm going to have to allow the defense to catch up with the offense. Even if it means it's going to take all season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, it doesn't matter. I got to play to this club's strengths while continuing to work on their weakness. And so from day one, that's what I wanted to do. And our strength with the players that we have is the ability to pass, dribble, and shoot the ball while playing extremely fast.
Hey, Mike, I got a series question for you, and it's a two-parter. Number one, how is Domantas Sabonis? What's his status for Game 3? And what are your thoughts on Draymond Green's suspension?
Yeah, I told our guys, first of all, Domas is fine. He went through practice today. He'll obviously play tomorrow since he was able to make it through practice today. And I told our guys this. I said, hey, look, we need to control 2 things, not just during this playoff series, but as long as we're in the playoffs, because that's how we're built. And this is how we're going to have success. We need to control our level of physicality, which has to be upped from the regular season because we weren't good in that area, not just defensively, but even offensively. Setting screens, running through hits, going to the offensive glass. You can be physical just as well offensively as you are defensively. And then I said we had to play with pace, not just in the full court, but in the half court. Our pace has to be at a high level. So I've been yelling at our guys or telling our guys we got to do the 2 Ps. But going into this series, seeing how physical it was going to be with the Golden State Warriors, who are the NBA champions, I added another P. I said we got to have points. We got to have points. So whatever the officials say and do during the course of the game, we can't react. Whatever Golden State says and does during the course of the game, we can't react. And so where I'm going with it is, at the end of the day, the officials made the decision during the course of the game to kick Draymond out and to give Domas a tech. It's out of our hands. The NBA made the decision to suspend him a game. It's out of our hands. We got to go play the game no matter who's in front of us.
At every point during the season, you says, man, there's a turning point. I believe every coach figure out, like, I got a good team. When did you realize you had a terrific team?
That's a great question, Charles. That's a great question. Hey, we had a win at the Lakers early in the season, which was a big, big win for us. Going into their building, getting that win in front of their crowd with the type of caliber players they have on that team continued to add to the confidence that we already had. But it more importantly than that, it really, in our minds, or at least in my mind too, cemented the fact that, okay, we can play with anybody. I don't know if we're going to beat everybody all the time, but we can for sure play with anybody. That if there was a game, that was probably the game. But the biggest moment for me that got me extremely excited about this team was when I was still coaching with the Warriors, and we were in the NBA Finals. And Domas, he's got a house in Napa, and he called a lot of his teammates and asked them to come up to Napa. This is obviously early in the summertime, and asked them to work out for 3 days. And he had 10, 11 guys show up in Napa. They spent 3 days together working out. They went to dinner both nights that they were there. They even broke bread and watched one of our games one of those nights. And once I heard that and got the report back from how those 3 days went, I said, okay, we might have something here. This group can be special if they keep this up going into training camp, which is what they did.
It has been special, and this is a special night for Mike Brown, the NBA Coach of the Year. Call him Mr. Unanimous for the first time ever. Mike, thanks a lot. Always good talking to you.
Always great talking to you guys. I enjoy what you guys do.